welcome everybody to the Captain Lou and Mitch Extravaganza live here on the Captain Lou Sports Network on YouTube. And as we always are on our Facebook page, which is the Extravaganza, and our personal Facebook pages. And we're on our handles on X at the Phil's Fanatic and at the real Captain Lou. Yours truly, Captain Lou, along with my tag team partner, Mitch Bernstein. And before we get started, just want to let everybody know that today's show is brought to you, as always, by the official secondary market of the Sports Network and the Extravaganza. That is SeatGeek. There's a game you want to go to. You want to go watch Donnie Ballgame manage the Phillies. Go to SeatGeek. Use the promo code Captain Lou. If you want to go, if you're in hot Atlanta, you want to watch the Tigers this weekend. I know they got a matinee game tomorrow against the Braves. Go to SeatGeek, use the promo code Captain Lou, and you get $20 off your purchase. All right, there's our tag team partner, Mitch Bernstein. Mitch, how the heck are you, buddy?
Doing well, Lewis. Just fine and dandy. A lot going on in the sports world. You know what? We got baseball. We got hockey playoffs. We got NBA playoffs. We got the NFL draft. Oh, my gosh. This is a good time of year. It's a fun time of year, isn't it?
Oh, I'll tell you what, and you've got, like you said, Stanley Cup playoffs, your Flyers jumped out to a big lead. Now they're starting to pucker a little bit. That goal the other night. Have you ever seen anything like that where it bounced off his backside in the net like that?
I have, but not in this kind of situation.
Not when it's with this much on the line, huh?
Man.
Yeah.
That's heartbreaking. Listen, I'm not a diehard Flyers fan, right? I'm bandwagon jumping because of the Penguins, because I can't stand that crap team. Those guys, Malkin, the dirty-ass player, Letang, dirty-ass player, Crosby, a big baby. I want that they need to beat they can't go to Game 7 in Pittsburgh. They can't do it. They have to play a really, really good game tonight so that maybe I go to Raleigh and watch him play the Hurricane.
Boy, wouldn't that be something?
I'm only 2 hours away.
Well, I like Porter Martone because I watched him play here in East Lansing when he was a Spartan.
Nice.
And it's crazy, Mitch. If they wouldn't have melted down against Wisconsin in the game to go to the Frozen Four, the Flyers may not have signed him in time to play.
Really?
And so it's funny how fortunes change. But he's looked good. But now, like, the youngsters are getting their first little taste of adversity, and that's going to be a heck of a game. That's at 7:30 tonight in Philly, Game 6. So
yeah, it's going to
keep an eye on that during the show. And then just a second on the NBA, your Sixers. I loved it. I can't stand the Celtics. I've always been a hater of Boston. So anytime you can go into Boston Garden or TD Garden or whatever the hell it's called and win on the road, I love that the 76ers were able to do that. And our Pistons, our backs are against the wall.
Yeah.
We can't make a bucket to save our ass. We're down 3-1. It's going to take a minor miracle to win 3 straight when Cade's the only one shooting. But
yeah,
it's sport,
tough.
right?
3-1's tough. I mean, it really is. But, they got to, as all professionals know, one game at a time, one basket at a time, one possession at a time, one inning at one pitch at a time. That kind of thing. That's what it is. That's where they get paid the big bucks. NFL draft. So we can talk a little bit about that. But I want to first, we have a video from my buddy. You'll hear from him, Phil Stifle. He's out of Kennett Square, Pennsylvania. Big Eagles guy. Has a podcast called Trending in the AM. I asked him to jot down some notes. Instead, he sent us a video about his thoughts on the Eagles draft, and then we'll talk about the Lions draft. You want to play that?
What's up, everybody? Phil Stifle here from the STT Sports Network. My man, Mitch Bernstein, wanted my thoughts and grade on the NFL draft, so here's a quick video for you guys. Sorry I couldn't appear live on the show. Work took priority, unfortunately, but here we go. So the Eagles draft weekend as a whole, the draft picks and the trade for Jonathan Grenard, I graded a B+, and here's why. First, Mekhi Lemon, first-round pick, wide receiver from USC. A steal of a pick right there. You had to trade 2 fourth-round picks to move up and get him, but the guy is arguably going to be the best wide receiver out of this 2026 NFL draft class. It's going to slot in perfectly next to Devontae Smith and Dontavian Wicks. once the A.J. Brown trade processes post-June 2nd, because it is going to happen. The second round, they got Eli Stowers, tight end from Vanderbilt. A lot of the talk with him is he can't block. But what I see is a willing blocker. And what I mean by that, this guy just started playing tight end a few years ago. He came out of high school and into college as a quarterback, not a tight end. The film I see some flaws in his blocking, but I see he wants to block and he's willing to block, which tells me he's teachable. And that's all you want out of a young player, is to be teachable, to willing to listen and learn. And he does that. The first iffy pick, in my opinion, third-round pick, Markel Bell, tackle from Miami. Started 21 games at left tackle for the University of Miami. I had him slotted late fourth, early fifth round. So that's a bit of a reach there. He's got the raw talent and a massive frame that you could pair opposite of Jordan Mailata, but he's still got some techniques to learn. He's got some things with leverage to figure out, some run blocking things to figure out. But, if they really liked him and losing those 2 fourth-round picks, they had to get him where they got him. So it is what it is, but that brings it down a tick, right? Most of the other picks are whatever. Uwar Bernard, the Nigerian nightmare from the International Player Pathway Program in the 7th round. Huge raw talent and athleticism. Eagles fans are going to fall in love with this guy if he can develop. They also, in the undrafted free agent, picked up another international player, Josh Weru from Kenya, to play edge rugby player. So the Eagles obviously love that International Pathway Program and love tapping into that. The other thing that brings the draft weekend from an A+ to a B+, in my opinion, it's Markel Bell, a little early, great player, but a little early. But the Jonathan Grenard trade, I like Jonathan Grenard, and I know the Eagles have been linked to him all offseason. They gave up 2 third-round picks for the guy. I think it was a bit much. A guy that wanted out of Minnesota, a guy that in 23 and 2024 had over 24 sacks, only had 3 sacks last year. His sack rate, or his pressure rate, was 16.7%, which was over 2% points below Jalen Phillips, who we let walk. You gave him $100 million, $50 million guaranteed as well in extension. It's really a 2-year deal for $60 million, but it is what it is. He will slot in nicely with Jalix Hunt and Nolan Smith, who they picked up the 5th-year option of. But I think giving up 2 third-round picks this year and next year was a bit much. If it would have just been 1 third-round pick or a third-round pick and a 6th-round pick, I would have loved the deal a lot more. For 2 third-round picks, you could have drafted another player there and just re-signed Jalen Phillips. I know he got more guaranteed money than Grenard, but at least we know Jalen Phillips fit into the Vic Fangio system. We don't know that about Jonathan Grenard. I hope we see the good Jonathan Grenard from 2023 and 2024 and not the down Jonathan Grenard from 22 or 2025. So that's why it gets a B+. Love it. We've improved every area of this team outside of safety. And heck, there's still a lot of time to go this offseason, but I would give it a solid B+. There's something I talk about on my show, the Howie tax. He had to pay 2 4th-round picks just to move up 3 spots in the first round. He had to give up 2 third-round picks for Jonathan Grenard. Kind of feel like teams are starting to realize that Howie gets the better of them, and they had to pay that Howie tax. So that's what I got. Everybody have a great day. Enjoy the rest of the show, Mitch. Thanks for thinking of me, my man. This is Phil Stiefel, the STT Sports Network. As always, it's Go Birds, and it's Bubbles Up.
So pretty good roundup of what he saw with the draft and his thoughts. So and I saw Mark Miller from ESPN. He gave his top 100 best pick, steals, and fits. So he had Mekhi Lemon at number 4, who's going to throw. They're going to throw him in the slot because you got Devontae Smith and Montavian on the outside. Omar Cooper, who we talked about last week as being one of the top picks that they were going to go after, the Eagles. The Jets got him, number 5. Number 7, Eli Stowers, tight end. And he's going to work with Goddard, and he's going to come in, like he said, he's not going to block much, but he's got a good opportunity to spell Goddard as needed. Blake Miller went to your Lions at number 28, offensive tackle, as did outside linebacker Keith Abney. He's number 45 on Mark Miller's list. So how do you feel the Lions did on their draft?
I thought they did pretty good, Mitch. I can't complain about Blake Miller. When we did our draft special and you were on, I talked about Monroe Freeling potentially being the guy that they would go after at 17. I thought either one they could do good with. I like Miller because I think he started 53 games at Clemson. And so there's a lot to be said for a guy that's had a lot of starts under his belt, either a quarterback or an interior lineman or whatever. I like the Derek Moore pick in the second round. The other one in the fourth round, not real enamored with, but I like the Abney pick in the fifth round. I think that was a steal, getting him in the fifth round. I was surprised. And after that, I think I heard a couple of great points, and then we'll bring our guest on. I know Frank's warming up in the bullpen. When you get to the draft now, after both the mid-fifth round on down to sixth and seventh round, I don't think the talent level's there anymore. It's not going to be because of NIL. These kids, Mitch, they've got an opportunity to make millions of dollars in college. And, why jeopardize a potential being a sixth or seventh round pick and get paid very little? So I think from now on the draft, unless something changes, once you get to the fourth and maybe the fifth round, that's where the talent level really stops. And then there's a huge drop off after that. So,
yeah.
So I think that Abney pick was good. And wide receiver out of Kentucky, Law, he's a project. I don't think Detroit really needed that, but I don't know. I mean, it's exciting. I like your Lemon pick. I was surprised that he was there. I think some teams were a little put off by his attitude.
Mm-hmm.
I see where he apologized for his, the way he was carrying on. But I mean, he's young. These kids are 19, 20, 22 years old. They're, it's you can overlook that now as long as he produces, I guess. But he's a wide receiver. They're all divas anyways, right?
Well, we know somebody who is. His first initial is A, his middle initial is J, and his last initial is B. Gone on June 1st.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Well,
I don't see many people in Philadelphia upset about that. They kind of know what's going on.
You know what? Speaking of gone by June 1st, it's so funny is I want to bring our guest in. I want to bring Frank in because my wife and I were in transit. We went to Green Bay to help my son move into his new digs, and we were driving back, and on the radio, they were talking about, Boston getting rid of their manager over the weekend with Cora getting fired. And we were talking, and I told my wife, I said, I give the Phillies until Memorial Day, and I think Cora could be the manager there because I think Thompson's gone. And my goodness, the next day we found out about it, and now Donnie Baseball's in. Mitch, your guy Frank Klose is here with us.
Yeah, hi, Frank.
How are you?
What's up, gentlemen? I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Yeah, I was actually taking my brother-in-law to the airport here in Wilmington, North Carolina, and I got a call from Lou. They did it. What did you say? He said he's gone or something.
Yeah, I was shocked. I mean, I guess I was shocked because we were just talking about it, my wife and I, the night before, and Dombrowski likes Cora, but apparently he doesn't want to go there. But I'll let you guys. You're the Philly guys. All I'm going to say is if the Tigers don't win the World Series, I want Donnie Baseball to win it for the Phillies.
That's nice because he doesn't have a ring. And wouldn't it be interesting, Frank, if all of a sudden karma hits the Phillies and he gets his first ring? How cool would that be?
Yeah, I honestly thought he was going to get it last year with Toronto. It's kind of a shame they didn't pull that one out. I thought they had a real shot going into that World Series, and it's a real. They got kind of close too. I mean, some tough finishes in that World Series, but I thought that was the year he was destined to do it. So he's got to get one, right? I mean, he's meant way too much to the games. I was a little kid in the '80s when he was at his prime, and it was just he was just larger than life.
Yeah, I mean, guy deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Hopefully, he'll get in at some point for sure. So I got to ask you, what did you think? Now, see, I was not a Thompson fan, not necessarily because the the team didn't perform? 2 reasons: in-game decision management, waiting to change pitchers, not allowing players who are on a hot streak to continue to be in the lineup when they're hitting well, and taking them out because of the righty-lefty switch. And his press conferences where he would say, as he did last week, "Well, I thought Nola had good stuff." No, he didn't. He got bombed. He sucked. And, just be honest. Just tell us. Yeah, why can't – he was too protective of his players. Players loved him. I understand that. But the fact of the matter is, I think people saw that. He was too protective of his players. He wasn't honest in saying, yeah, Nola could have thrown better. And then yesterday, and I'll give you – hold on one second. With Dombrowski, 2 faux pas he said yesterday about the team. Nola, yeah, somebody asked him in the press conference, yeah, what about Nola? Well, yeah, he ended up saying something about the ABS system hurting him. So, what? And then he said, yeah, our bullpen has been good. Excuse me? So what were your thoughts on Thompson?
I liked him. I thought he was what they needed at the time. His biggest asset was that he was a strong communicator, and when his bullpen was at its best. And by the way, they have been actually pretty good in the last week. I know it's hard to think of that because we saw some clunkers along the way.
Right. Yeah.
But everybody sort of knew their role. I mean, even on the bench too. I think people knew when they were going to come in, and those of us that watch every game in depth and very, very closely, I think we could figure out what the move was before it happened, right? Because it was almost kind of automatic, and I think that's what they needed in 2022. Of course, they went on that tear once he took the helm, and I can tell you this: I was talking to I was interviewing Neil Walker, former Philly major leaguer for something else, and he had played on the Yankees, and Robb Thomson was on the staff, and I was interviewing him not as actually for an academic paper, not for anything that it was going to be broadcast.
Yeah,
but I did say to him, I'm like, hey, while I have you on the phone, like, just curious, what do you think of Robb Thomson? And he was like so emphatically excited for him. And he said, the moment I heard Girardi was going to lose his job, I really thought that Thomson should have gotten it. And so he really is respected and revered. And I think that I think that's true even for some of the players in the locker room right now. And a lot of them are just like, damn, we just got our guy fired. So, I mean, it's almost like you do this, you make a move like this for the shock value. And of course it's somebody's job, but it's, I know that's why some people might have said, well, why didn't they get rid of Kevin Long too? Or I'm like, they only need one for the shock value. So, and usually the bigger shock value comes from the manager. So I do hope that he does take the Phillies up on their offer for an advisor role or something just to keep him in the organization. I mean, I think he can be a Philly for life. I know he talked about retiring after the 2022 season, and he ended up going to the World Series as manager. So then he wasn't going to walk away, but maybe a smaller role like that would be really good for him and ease his way into retirement. And I think he's a good voice to have around.
Some people were criticizing. Did you see the Dombrowski press conference?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. What were your thoughts about that? I'm sorry to interrupt. A lot of Kevin Cooney on Twitter. Terrible way to handle it. Was it terrible because the way Dombrowski said it in public in a press conference about Cora? Is that what he was talking about? What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I was surprised how open he was about Cora. Usually, I expected him to say, "Oh yeah, we're good friends." Blah 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 blah. Well, he said the part like he looks at me like a mentor. We talked Saturday, but I didn't think like while he was on the phone after he got fired, he was already offering him the job. In fact, I don't think anybody necessarily needed to know that either. I think he could have said something like, "Oh yeah, of course. I talk to Cora all the time. I'm like a mentor to him. We kind of have that relationship. He got fired on Saturday, so of course we were going to have a conversation, and maybe I broached briefly like, hey, maybe someday we can work together, and then now's not the right time." Like he could have said something like that.
Yes,
but like it's almost like setting up Don Mattingly, like or at least. or at least he could have said something like, "Oh yeah, I know Don had said in the offseason he wasn't coming here to manage and didn't necessarily want to, but I asked him to anyway."
Yeah,
I think
a little more class.
yeah,
A
a little bit
more
more
subtle, right?
PR, yeah, a little more PR friendly, I think. But it's a decision that I think that even indirectly, even if he didn't know Alex Cora, I think that firing definitely put all eyes on the Phillies to make the move next. Losing 10 games in a row, you're going to get people's attention,
Yeah.
and the fact that the Red Sox were going to do it, if he didn't do it then, in the immediate aftermath of the Red Sox move, then we would have spent the next 12 games, everybody saying, well, you're going to make a move, you're going to make a move, going to make a move, going to make a move. I personally thought that if a move was going to happen, it wasn't going to happen then. It was, so the Phillies are facing the Giants now. Then they're going to go to Miami for 3 and then come home for 6, 3 against the Athletics and 3 against the Rockies.
Right.
And they finished that on Mother's Day. I thought that if a move was going to happen, it would be on May 11th after that stretch, meaning if he didn't do well through this perhaps later stretch, then maybe you make the move. But I think that timeline got moved up because of the Red Sox. I think, and
you think so? Yeah,
I do.
I absolutely is a possibility. Funny thing, listening to the Philly Show podcast with Zalecki, Salisbury, and Ruben. Todd and Jim were pretty much saying that usually Dombrowski would wait upwards of 40 to 50 games, and maybe he even said that, right? So maybe that was a shock. And
by the way, May 10th would have been exactly 40 games.
It would have been right. So that would have been right. And again, who knows, right? Who knows what would have happened last night if Rob was still there? Would they have won the game? You watched the game. I watched the game. You know what? It was interesting, Frank. And did you notice this? Those swings, especially from Harper, were not wild. Were not crazy swings. He made contact last night. Bohm made contact last night. Though Garcia's still swinging a crap low and in, he did hit that double. Now, I was a little perturbed when I saw him. I thought, and I don't know I know what I can see on the screen. It looked like he thought it was out, and he didn't run initially to the bases. So he's got to stop that. And Luzardo, wow. How does an athlete, knowing that this situation, they got him fired, how does that change their mentality? I asked Lou this when we came on. It was interesting. They played like the Phillies that we expect.
Yeah, it is a shock value. It's like, man, I better get my blank together, I think that's kind of what they say, and they look in the mirror. In this day and age, they feel responsible when something like that happens. I mean, it's a really old adage, you can't fire the players, although they did release Taiwan Walker. I mean, you can in that sense, but but I mean, this is a very expensive roster with very, very high expectations. And so I do think they really do think, man, we just cost Rob his job, and we better get our acts together. I mean, I hate that that's the way you got to motivate people sometimes, but talk of it. I'm just saying, talk of a new voice around. I mean, maybe you get complacent, you get too comfortable. I mean, maybe sometimes that happens, but you don't need Larry Boa. You don't. I mean, it was funny because the past the Phillies went from the likes of Terry Francona, who was the mild mannered, calm. He's kind of like Thompson-ish, and then you go to the other extremes with like Larry Boa, and then they wanted another extreme after that. It feels like that's what happens in baseball anymore. You go from extreme to extreme. Now, the interesting thing here is Mattingly is very similar in demeanor to Thompson, and yeah, he's going to do his own thing. I mean, they're not going to be 100% philosophically aligned, even if you're working together as bench coach and manager. It's just no two people are, and then when it's your turn, you emphasize the things that are your strength, and it's not necessarily knock against Rob, but I think more than anything, it's just the shock value that a firing has in Major League Baseball today.
interesting. It's so interesting to me. Um, let's talk about the lineup for a minute. This thing with, um, you know, Schwarber not, they don't have a number 4. Well, Garcia, to me, or Schwarber or Harper should be in that spot. Typically, baseball. That's what Jim Salisbury and Todd Zalecki and Ruben Amaro have said. There, baseball's changed. Well, but if you got guys like Harper and Schwarber, to me, and again, until Garcia can prove he can start hitting the ball over the fence and hitting in clutch situations, Schwarber and Harper are to me are 3 and 4. Think anything will change?
I mean, you need a 1 and 2 first.
So Turner's all right. So who would you put at 2? I mean, to me, I put out on Twitter yesterday. Not that many people saw it. I would go leave Turner at 1, and the way Marsh is hitting, put him at 2. He's hitting really well.
I would not put 3 lefties in a row.
That's the only issue.
That's the problem. I mean,
right.
And we got to remember too that as good as Marsh is against righties, he's not a full-time player. I mean, that's part of the problem with this roster and lineup is and last year was worse at the end because they had 3 platoons. Right now they have 2 platoons. So that means your bench now, you need to carry a guy that can play every position in Dylan Moore, even though he hasn't hit yet. Not like a literal not a hit. Yeah. And if he doesn't get one tomorrow, he'll have gone through the whole month of April without a hit. So, I think that's robbing your bench of impact bats that you could use off the bench, maybe with a little pop or something like that. But so I think that's kind of setting them up for this. I mean, from my perspective, and the answer could be that he is. But if you have Brandon Marsh only able to play against right-handed pitching, then he needs to be good enough to justify the rest, right? I mean, he has to be so good that you can deal with everything else that follows from there, including wasting an entire other roster spot. So that's part of the problem here. I think that the Phillies would be better, and I really like Brandon Marsh. If I think if the Phillies had 1 platoon, then they might be able to handle it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, I think the better thing would be him platooning with Garcia, and they get a big bat that plays left field and can hit right-handed. I don't know if such a thing exists in this day and age.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, across the game, there's just a dearth of right-handed hitters right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, they are just kind of hamstrung by these double platoons that flipping it either every other day, and
mm-hmm.
I don't like that. And that's not to say that Stott has proven he should start every day, or Marsh has proven they should start every day. They haven't. So
I'm disappointed in Bryson. I thought, especially when coming out of spring training, he was their hottest hitter. Now, it's spring training. Was he facing number 1s or number 2s? I don't remember. I don't know. But he's got to get he's got to start swinging the bat. I mean, it's just bad. And then, Crawford, listen, he's a rookie. That bottom of the order, we need JT back. We need a bat. We need a potential decent bat if JT can lay off those inside and high pitches and those low and away sweepers and curveballs.
Yeah, but see too with JT, I mean that's another one of my gripes here is, I mean, they were at a situation where they had to bring him back,
mm-hmm.
but you already see with his IL stint, I mean he's not a spring chicken, and he's trying to defy gravity basically. I mean, I forget the exact numbers. I think it was Darren Dalton caught for the last time at like 33, and Mike Lieberthal was 35. So.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's 35.
Yes.
Look at some of the longer term types. Carlos Ruiz got up to 37, I believe, but that was as a part-time player the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a big ask to try to have him carry the. I personally thought that he played considerably more than he should have the last several years. I mean,
mm-hmm.
You don't want to run him into the ground. And when you get to the point now, especially when he's up there in age, you're not in a position where you can be necessarily counting on his bat as one of your key bats. You just can't do it because he's going to need that time to rest. Otherwise, these injuries that he's going to have, it's just because his body's his body.
Yeah.
He can't play like a 22-year-old still. I mean, it's just reality. And I do really like Rafael Marchand's glove. I mean, they got to get his bat's not as bad as it's been this year, but he's got to do something. I mean,
he's got to figure something out.
He's really good at behind the plate. I mean, that's the other thing too. Like if they had taken care of other business this offseason, I would have been fine if Marchand was a starter, because to me, working with the pitchers in that defense is more important. And then if he's your 9-hitter, you just live with it. But they didn't do those other things. And what do you know? Real Muto's hurt.
Yeah, listen, he's an old guy, so am I. And the back is, I don't know if you've had any back issues, Frank, but
thankfully no.
Tightening up. I'm not even saying really wrenching it, and then being laid up. He was just tight. And even as a 35-year-old playing that position, that's a scary thing if it happens this early in the season.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's good. And I looked at the stats. I think he played 130, 131 the past several seasons.
Yeah, I mean, the back was why the Phillies probably shied away from Ranger Suarez. That's worrisome. And Suarez hasn't thrown a lot of innings. I mean, he's one of my favorites from the last several years. Like I really thought he was going to be something, and he was, but again, he struggled to stay on the field, and so don't mess with those backs.
Ooh, it's not good. It really isn't. So they win last night, rained out tonight, unfortunately. Easy schedule coming up. Where our rotation, the hope is we've seen the best of Luzardo. He obviously has figured something out. Sanchez is going to be Sanchez, we hope. I mean, he is I love his demeanor on the mound, Frank. He's so calm and collected, and he's so pinpoint with his control. It's a pleasure. It reminds me a little bit of Tom Seaver, because that's what Tom was. Tom had that curveball, he had a slider, and that fastball, a sneaky fastball, and he wasn't afraid to throw inside. So I love watching Luzardo. I love watching Wheeler. Of course, is back. Can't wait for his next start. He didn't have the command that we wanted to see, but listen, he hasn't pitched in forever. He did a great job. It was awesome. So the only issue I have is what I call him head case Nola. Nola is in his head. Nola, to be good, in my opinion, has to be pinpoint, because the fastball at 93, 94 ain't going to do it. But he's not. He hasn't shown that he can be pinpoint with the sweeper or the splitter or whatever he's thrown.
Yeah, that one's a little bit concerning. I mean, the Phillies gave him a lot of money in a lot of years. I mean, he's going to be there. So, I mean, he's got to get right. I mean, we know last year was the first time he really battled real injury in his career. He had been super steady to that. I mean, that can mess your mechanics up. He's still not his old self. I mean, I've seen promising signs. I thought the World Baseball Classic, it was a little promising. But by the way, speaking of the World Baseball Classic, both him and Sanchez, that really throws off your spring training. I mean, you go from, what you usually do in March is you just sort of ease your way into some you throw a couple innings the first time, then you try to get to 3, then maybe 4, and then you're at 5 max when you're in spring training. But then, and they're all light because you just say, okay, good, I'm throwing my curveball, and if people hit it, whatever, who cares? I mean, that's what you do in spring training. You get yourself ready. But instead, Sanchez and Nola, they were pitching really big innings in some intense play. I mean, Team Italy had a nice showing, even though they were not one of the finalists. But they did way better than expected. And of course, Sanchez and the DR. DR was my pick to win. They ultimately didn't, but they were. I thought they were really impressive.
Yes.
This spring for the World Baseball Classic. So I mean, Sanchez was throwing some really key innings. So I think their normal wind up was into the in terms of wind up into the season, not their pitching wind up. That was disrupted. So I can understand. I know that's a whole nother topic for another day as to what's the best time of year to put the World Baseball Classic.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I think that's a conversation worth having because I thought that fans got behind this more than ever. There was more excitement than ever. And it was a really big deal to those pitching in it. So they were giving it their all at going 5 innings is a big deal when you're normally easing into that in the middle
Correct.
of March.
Right.
So
Exactly.
so I wouldn't be shocked if there's some sort of carryover effect there and they sort of need to get things right. So because they were at they sort of went right full blast, stopped briefly, and then were expected to go right back to full blast.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to interrupt you for just a minute. So we're doing a contest to win whatever. Have you seen any of these, Frank?
Yep.
Dugout mugs? So we're doing a contest, Lou, Frank, and everybody who's watching and listening. The contest is simple. Guess the Phillies player who will have the most RBIs and guess the number of RBIs he will have at the end of the day on May 31st. The person who wins the contest, ties will do a random draw, that kind of thing, will get this Phillies dugout mug. You Frank, you've seen it. Lou, have you seen these, right?
Yeah. Really cool.
I mean, I love mine. I love this. I ended up ordering 2 by mistake, so I'm giving one away. I'm giving one away to a contest entrant. So people can enter on my Twitter account at Phil's Fanatic. Send me a message there. Frank, you can enter too, buddy.
Christian Cairo, 25. There we go.
Excuse me?
I say Christian Cairo, 25.
Where is he? Where's
He's at AAA right now. I'm just messing.
Yeah, where's this guy coming from? Who? So yeah, enter at Phil's Fanatic on my Facebook page. You can win that. You can maybe win that dugout mug. Here's the one. Actually, I got a cool one. They will make these the All-Star Game one. This was a sample that I said I want that, and so that's a really cool one. And because I got it, he was on Whatnot, and I got it at half price, so that was pretty
sweet.
Good. Yeah. Braves are 10.5 up now, or is it 9.5?
I'm not paying attention. Unfortunately, that's not even worth watching right now, in my opinion. You know what? Phillies got to get themselves right. I mean, that's the focus. I mean, to me, you worry about those standings later. I think that what you first need to do is get back to the 500 mark. That might take them to mid-June. But then you know what? If you're 2-3 games above the 500 mark, then you're primed for a deadline. If you can pick up those pieces that are missing at the deadline, then you can make something happen. So that's kind of where I am. I don't know how many games behind they are, nor do I care to think about it, just because it's such a hole that you're and it's early. I mean, that's I think the problem people have is they try to make up all those games at once. So I just say get back up to a winning record. Figure it out later.
Well, I hate to give you guys bad news, but Albies just took Scooble deep in the bottom of the first for a 2-run homer, so the Braves are up 2-0.
Come on, Scooble, Lou, get him straight, would you please?
He doesn't want to be in Detroit.
Lou is from Michigan. He's a Detroit guy.
We're in first place.
All right, already.
At 500.
Take yourself away from the screen, please. I don't want to hear this anymore.
Place.
Lou, he left. All right. Jim Salisbury says, listen, if you can pick up a game a week at this stage of the game, that's great, right? You'll get there by June, July, and you can't control what anybody else is doing. And the good news is wild cards. You know, they may not win the division this year, but you know what? They win 90 games, they'll be in a wild card. And I got to ask you, I've been asking people this. I've been talking to Lou about it a lot. The mentality. This is my issue with this team in the playoffs the last several years. The bats go quiet. To me, it's simple. They put too much pressure on themselves. Are they talking to anybody? Who's talking to them? If there's anybody saying, guys, come, you just need to relax. You're tensing up. You're not swinging at good pitches. You can hit the ball. We know you. We won 96 games because of you. What happens to them in the playoffs the last several years?
Well, I mean, they're also facing the best of the best in terms of the pitching. So, and opposing team, it is, everybody knows that the Phillies can't hit lefties, period. And other teams at the trade deadline, they were picking up lefties just for the Phillies. They need to solve that. That's the first thing. And I think, a lot of that, what you're saying too, is mental. And I think, I'd like to make one point here. That's Dave Dombrowski. Two things he said. Well, most recently, he's like, oh yeah, we haven't really had a number 4 hitter. Well, yeah, that's your job to find one. But the whole Bo Bichette thing, that everybody knows that the Phillies pursued Bo Bichette. Everybody knows that the Phillies thought they had Bo Bichette. And they all knew that meant that Real Muto and Bohm would be out of town. And so it's like, oh, no, just kidding. You're all back. I think that's messed with their heads. I don't think you can go down that route and not go all the way. I just think that he needs to fix that at the deadline, I guess. I mean, but that could not have gotten out if he wasn't committed to getting it. Now, granted, I mean the Dodgers and their obnoxious signing is what led to this, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So the Dodgers then caused the Mets to panic because Tucker went to the Dodgers, and then they just threw this ridiculous amount of money at Bichette, who in turn now feels like he's got something to prove, and he's not doing great either. So,
right,
the mental part of this game is real, right? I mean, there's a lot to be said for that, and some of the messages that happened this off season, I think, you see that carryover effect.
Yeah, it's too bad. I mean, listen, starting with the Harper not elite.
Yeah, that too.
From back in, what is that, February or January, to now. I do analyze, and when I'm watching the games, Harper has done better with his chase rate. I'm somewhat impressed by him not chasing the lefties when they throw in on him, or the righties when they throw in on him, that slider, that hard slider, or that sweeper. And he's cut down on that lefty sweeper to the outside somewhat. Schwarber is the issue right now. Schwarber, to me, has got to get his crap together because he's looking terrible at the plate. I mean, he just is. It's not good. If he and Harper, again, we know this, Harper and he get hot at the same time would be nice. They're going to carry this club.
Well, see, they both have OPSs in the 8s. I mean, but the problem, last year in particular, Bryce Harper saw the least amount of strikes compared to anybody in baseball. Right. In fact, talking about why they needed that right-handed number 4 hitter behind them. I mean, I think that's however you stack them. I mean, it's there's no protection. So
right.
People see the rest of the lineup and they're just like, okay, fine, I'll just pitch around Harper and Schwarber, and then I'll deal with the rest of them that aren't going to do anything against me. So that's kind of the situation they're in. It's going to be incumbent now. Trey Turner, of course, has 4 hits. That's a good sign. I mean, you need Turner as part of this too.
Mm-hmm.
An occasional solo homer from Schwarber is not good enough. Right. So you need somebody on base, but then the rest of them, I don't know that there's. This lineup is flawed. It's fundamentally flawed, and they just don't have the right pieces.
Right. Yeah, and you have to blame it on Dave. I mean, this is and Middleton wants his damn trophy back. Well, talk to your president of operations. I mean, this is kind of, again, an egregious mistake. I was hopeful, as I don't know if you were, but I was hopeful that Garcia could turn it around, that he has the ability. But he's looking horrendous again. He's the one that's swinging too hard. He is swinging obnoxiously hard. When you swing hard, you know what happens, Frank? You don't keep your eye on the ball. and he's missing these low pitches, these low fastballs. He can't hit them because his head's up. So again, Kevin Long, I've heard from Jason Stark, from Jim Salisbury, they do like Kevin Long too. Everybody's saying, get rid of Kevin Long, get rid of Kevin Long. The question is, yes, you continue to do the same thing over and over again. Who's responsible for helping them make those changes? Is it the hitting coach? To me, it is. So, Kevin Long, how do you make a change to a player, or can you let them know, hey, you're swinging too hard? Relax. Harper did that last night. Beautiful swing. Bohm did that last night. Beautiful swings. Make solid contact. Somebody's got to get into, to me, Garcia's head and say, listen, dude, look at your swings. Look at what you're doing.
I think you're getting what he is, though. I mean, that's who he is. He's gonna connect, make and hit some home runs. He's gonna play really good right field. I think you're seeing what he is. I mean, I don't know that Kevin Long is going to change that.
Really?
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. I mean, and it really is, because I was hoping that it was going to happen. I'm looking up right now. Give me a few seconds. So the Flyers Penguins are 0-0. They just started. What are you thinking, Frank?
Oh man, I'm not the hockey analyst, so
No,
of course I'm going to root for the home team.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, you got to think they're not going to lose another one in a row, right? I mean, they've got that 3-0 lead. They need to take it.
They have to
Enough's enough.
game.
Tigers just tied it up, by the way.
What's that?
Tigers just tied it up, by the way.
Good.
Yeah, they got a couple of runs, manufactured a couple of runs. You got McConaughey got 1 RBI and
Pride of Delco.
Yes, exactly. Where we're from. Absolutely. Hey, Frank, do you collect cards at all? Have you collected cards?
Well.
Oh my gosh, here we go. I love it.
I have plenty right here. I mean, 88 tops. That was my entry. That was my entry into baseball cards,
Okay.
and got a nice Bruce Ruffin right here. So
Bruce Ruffin. You can make a good 50 cents, maybe a quarter on that one. Yeah, it's so we'll see, Frank. Right? We'll just have to. We're gonna play it out, and it's only April. Okay, we'll see. Well, hopefully they can, continue to do what they did last night. Get him on a roll. Of course, now you have a rain out and you lose some momentum, but we'll see what happens.
yeah, and then it just messes up your pitching. But they do have, they do have the opportunity to add an arm. Although the one that would have been their long man, Alan Ron Hill, he pitched last night. So
okay, all right, Frank. Listen, I'm glad you're feeling good.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm glad everything is good. Can't thank you enough for coming on and giving your expertise. We really appreciate it.
Pleasure.
It's fun to talk to you guys who are in the know down there, up there, while I'm just watching the games and reading articles and watching podcasts. So I really appreciate your knowledge and your intuitiveness with the Phillies and Phillies baseball.
Always good to talk to you.
Thanks so much, my friend. Let's go Phillies. And I guess we're going to tell you, let's go Flyers and even the Sixers. Let's see what happens.
Do it. They're in there.
They are. Thank you, Frank.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Appreciate it. All right. Some great insights, some great takes from Frank, right? Very nice.
Long season.
It is. And my wife says it's long season. Okay. But we haven't been through this. We didn't expect this. So, you have expectations. And when they go like this, the fans panic.
You know what they say is you can't win the World Series in April, but you can sure lose it. And you don't want to get too far behind.
No.
Especially when you got the Braves playing lights out right now. What are they, 21-10? Best record in baseball. It's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate. That's true. But again, listening to Ken Rosenthal on a podcast today, he's thinking, the Braves are going to win the division. Phillies are 10.5 out. Again, it's early. 21-9 they are.
Yeah.
Look at Cincinnati, 19-10.
Yeah. Well, they're showing they're finally coming to their
That's
living
crazy.
up to their expectations, you know.
And San Diego's at 19-11.
Yeah.
The American League West is
Oh, the
pretty
Central
even.
and the West is a joke.
It's amazing how crazy close it is. And the Central. I mean, you and Cleveland and the White Sox, you know, everybody, you know, Kansas City's at the bottom. They're 2.5 out. So again, yes, it's early. It'll start spreading out a little more as we go forward. And we'll see what happens, right? It's that's why we love baseball, because it's a long season.
It's a long year. The Tigers lost Javi Baez. I don't know how long he's going to be out.
I saw that.
A 10-day deal.
Yeah.
The way he got carted off yesterday, it looked a lot worse than a 10-day disabled list stint.
Hopefully Casey
Mize.
Yeah.
So I wanted to bring up, I read today that, or I think they announced it yesterday, the Lions, they picked up the 5th year on Gibbs, which I'm not surprised.
Mm-hmm.
And then they declined the 5th year option on Campbell, their linebacker.
Mm.
The reason they did that, and I don't blame them, is that if they exercise that option, he'd be paid right now. He'd be the top paid linebacker, inside linebacker, at $24 million or something like that.
It's a lot of money for a
They want to sign him to an extension, you know, and I don't blame them, as you know, I don't blame management side on that. And with Gibbs, they can franchise him for 2 years if they want. And by then he'll be 6 years in, you know, he'll be 27, whatever. And then if they're still paying running backs the big money, then he'll get it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's so funny how, you know, like me in baseball, you're pretty much a man of all. You cover them all. But football is also, you know, again, we've talked about this before, year round. Yeah, here's the draft. Yeah. And already people are putting out 2027 mock
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh my God. And then now they're talking about the potential of the quarterback from Texas Tech that's going into rehab for gambling.
Yeah.
They might do a supplemental draft for him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a rumor right now, but I don't see the NCAA letting him play ever again.
I don't either.
If they allow him to come back, let's say he misses 4 games, that's going to open up such a Pandora's box for gambling. And he's not going to be the only one, Mitch. I mean, I was listening to Dan Patrick yesterday, and it was so fascinating. You know, they said 70% of all male college students have gambled, have bet on sports.
That's a lot.
It's just, you know, you pick up your phone. You know, you pick up your phone and you can go on DraftKings or Bet365 or FanDuel, whatever, and place a bet. And you can forge your parents' info on there. And I mean,
it's like Amazon. It's so easy.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. You know, and how they were saying how, and the other thing is, you know, 20 years ago or whatever, the mob would target kids that, you know, these athletes that were broke. They'd say, hey, we'll give you $1,000 if you know, fix a game for us. And then they got you hooked. Now these kids have money.
That's the problem.
They've got, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not more. And they can just go on these websites. It's so easy. It's crazy.
It is easy. You don't have to gamble to get this, but you have to make a guess.
There you go.
All right, folks. Those of you who are here, you want to win this. It's a Phillies contest. That's my affiliate link down below. That helps me out, actually, if you want to go to Dugout Mug and check it out. But this is a great Phillies mug. You drink out of it. It's a hollowed out bat.
That's awesome.
And if you can guess the Phillies player that has the most RBIs by the end of May 31st games and the number of RBIs he has, you could win this Dugout Mug. So you see my Twitter handle is at Phil's Fanatic. You can message me on there. You can message me on message me on Facebook, Mitch Bernstein. You'll see this handsome face. I think I have my granddaughter in the profile with me. So you can I'm kidding with this. But make a guess. We're taking guesses through Sunday. All right. So you got to get them in to try and win this. And go on Dugout Mugs. They have, Lou, have you been on that site yet?
Well, I'll check it out tonight.
They've got many cool things. They have a metal insulated mug, every MLB team. They have bottle openers with the wood handle with your team logo on it. They cut baseballs in half and put a metal piece in there as a bottle opener with your team logo on it. They have coasters. I bought coasters for my daughter with the Phillies logo on it. They have Mother's Day gifts. They have Father's Day gifts. They got all sorts of stuff. So hit dugoutmugs.com. Use my affiliate code, which I've posted before. That's it right there.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can get it scrolling, but I'll post it out again. And if you use my affiliate, forgot. Oh my gosh, BAT25 get you 25% right now.
There you go.
I messaged the owner of the company, Chris. I said, "Are there any coupon codes available?" He said, "Yeah, have them use BAT25, 25% off."
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really good stuff. Awesome.
The green went deep, Mitch. Tigers are ahead 3-2.
I love it. Love it. Penguins and Flyers still zip.
Yep.
Rockies are beating the Reds 5-0. Cardinals 1-0 over to Pittsburgh. The Nationals. So the Mets.
Boy, oh boy.
You think it's bad in Philly? What's going to happen there? They like Mendoza. Listen, Steve Cohen. They like him. Stearns likes Mendoza.
Yeah.
If this continues for them, you think they have to make a change.
Well, you would think, and hey, they're the laughing stock right now.
All the money they spent too.
Oh, it's just how is that even possible? A franchise that's snake bitten if all the money they've spent on talent, man. It's
and I've read that Bichette and Lindor do not get along.
Yeah, you were telling me that yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that somewhere, and I was like, "Oh, makes it even better." You got two big egos right there,
and contracts that nobody's going to want to pick up.
Yep.
Wow,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Any team can win any day of the week in baseball. The Marlins beat the Dodgers today 3-2.
Yeah, I mean,
right? It's just the way it is. It's baseball.
It is. You just got to, like you said, for the teams that are trailing, you pick up one game a week.
That's all you got. You can't worry. Yeah, you absolutely can't worry about
just
anything except that day, that pitch. Lou, so folks, Lou's going there. Lou, tell everybody where you're going.
I'm going to Wrigley Field this weekend. Yeah, I'm going to help a family member move in Chicago. We're heading down there Friday, so I'm guessing I'm going Saturday.
Right. I'm looking at the weather report for you right now.
It's going to be a little brisk, but you know what? Where I was born and raised, all you got to do is wear some long johns, man. and you'll
Saturday.
be
all right, so listen. Saturday, is it a day game?
Yeah, 2:20 first pitch.
Partly cloudy. Listen, this is not bad. Partly cloudy, high 52. Yeah. The winds are only 5 to 10.
Okay, that's a blessing. I can live with that. Yeah. I'm still going to wear long johns, though. Because the beer will wear off by the fifth inning. Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to it.
Have a great time.
Yeah, I've been to Milwaukee, and I've been to Cincinnati, and I've been to Detroit. Been to Minnesota. So this will be another one I can check off my list.
Yeah, it's a great thing. It's so fun to go. Everybody's watching. Baseball fans know it's just it's such a cool vibe walking into a different stadium. Because for me, I want to see what's there. I want to know what's cool about this particular ballpark, right? Yeah. And I do a walk around, right? You'll do a walk around and see. Oh, and go to the men's room. I don't know if they've upgraded the men's troughs.
I'll keep you posted.
Don't take a picture though, please don't.
No pictures of the trough. No, that's quite all right. No.
Oh my goodness! All right, let's see what happens then the next week before we get together again. Thanks to Frank for coming on.
Yes.
And thanks to Phil for giving us that Philly Eagles review of the draft. So we'll see what happens next week at this time. Lou, have a great time in
all right. Wrigley. I will, Mitch. Thanks everybody for taking time out to be with us tonight, however you watched us around the world here on the Extravaganza. For Mitch Bernstein, yours truly, Captain Lou, saying keep your heads up, keep your sticks down, keep your feet moving, and as always, keep your minds open.
And keep your eye on the ball.
Keep your eye on the ball, that's right. We'll see you soon here on the Extravaganza.